Lee Trevino used to like mowing his own lawn. So he was out his lawnmower and everything like that. And he's at his house and everything. And a woman drives up in like a caddy or something. And she rolls down the window and she goes, "Excuse me, how much do you get paid to mow these lawns?" And he goes, "I don't get paid anything." She goes, "You don't get paid anything?" He goes, "No, but I get the lady who lives here."
Welcome to the Vanity Index podcast. It's powered by JLab. I'm Wells Adams alongside
Chad Mum. What's up, buddy?
not a whole lot. Very excited about today's episode.
Oh my God, it's one I've been looking forward to for a long time.
Our guest today is one of the funniest people I've ever met. The one, the only Richard Kind will be joining us in just a little bit.
Richard Kind is one of the funniest people to ever just randomly run into on a golf course. It's the last person I would expect. You know, obviously he's Bing Bong and Inside Out. He's been in a million things. He actually
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Curb. Oh my God. A Serious Man, Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah.
One of the best roles in that movie, and one of the kind of underrated Coen Brothers movies. He's fantastic in it. Just not the kind of person you'd picture being obsessed with golf, but man, is he obsessed with golf. And I cannot wait to have him on the show and talk about it.
What I love about Rich is I'll see him at the course and he doesn't have a game usually. He just kind of walks around until he sees some people that he likes and he says, "Can I join you?" And then you're like, absolutely,
Absolutely.
dude. Come on.
Yeah.
He also loves to carry his own bag, which I really appreciate.
So good. Yeah.
He is just like one of the best people in the world. And then also like his storytelling ability and acumen is just second to none. And, you know, the drinks with him after the round are just the most fun.
They're the most fun. And he's one of these like Hollywood legends where I think has said that he's the most prolific actor of his era in terms of like credits. I mean, he's got a bazillion credits. Go to the Richard Kind IMDb page. It's going to have to like load 5 or 6 times because that thing is so deep. But because of that, he's worked with everybody. I mean, he's worked with the biggest artists in the world, Coen Brothers, George Clooney, all these like super mega stars. And then also just like the random TV episodes that he's done. And he's kind of like an actor's actor or a comedian's comedian. And he really does like live in all of those worlds. He's got amazing range. He's so singular. And we are just blessed that he loves golf too.
Yeah.
I think we're in for it.
Yeah. Let's start the show with a little segment we like to call Can't Knock It, not brought to you by Knock Around. So there's a podcast that I listen to called The Par Train. It's hosted by this guy named Evan Singer. He lives in town, and a lot of his stuff is just like, which I invite you guys all to go listen to. He's very good. It's all about like being positive on the golf course and like how that mental mindset can kind of like change the way that you see or play golf. He's also a great follow on social media, and I saw him at the Masters when we went this past year, and he was talking about how he thinks that what makes the Masters so special is that the Masters is played at Augusta every single year, and that he thinks that every major should be played at the same golf course, and it would change things. And I got to thinking like, yeah, maybe. And I said, okay, where would they go? And he said, well, I think that the U.S. Open would go to Pebble, which I do think would be very cool every year.
Yep.
Then what do you do with the AT&T, I suppose? And then, you know, it's always going to be at St. Andrews for the Open, which would be cool, you know? And I think up for grabs is the PGA, I suppose. One of the arguments I heard about the PGA is, you know, it doesn't really have an identity, but it used to be a match play event.
Yeah.
And maybe if you brought that back, that would bring some juice back into it.
God, the TV people hate that though.
Yeah.
You know, because you just never know who you're going to get. You could get like some duds on the final round and then you're just stuck with it. But yeah, in perfect scenario, I think a match play major would be epic. Because what a slog. It'd be like a tennis tournament. You know, you're fighting it out to the very end. I think that would be awesome. You can't knock the idea of Pebble sort of being a permanent U.S. Open host course. I think that like totally makes sense. I love, obviously St. Andrews is sort of the only choice if you had to land the Open Championship at one spot. I think the PGA, I would love to see it at like a more of like a Bethpage Black. I think something that's, you know, that way you kind of have you got something in the South with Augusta, you got something on the West Coast, and then you've got a Northeast with such great fans. Or, you know, you could make an argument for something in like the Chicago area, but yeah, I mean, like Bethpage, permanent home for the PGA. I mean, could do a lot worse.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason why we love the Masters so much is because it's ingrained in us. It's very iconic. You have Amen Corner and all this kind of stuff. And, every year that we're watching the majors that's not the Masters, we're having to relearn what these things are.
Yep.
So I do think that there's an argument for it. Now, do I think it'll ever happen? No. But I think it's an interesting conversation.
I think it definitely creates, if you were just architecting it from a pure media value, whatever, if you were the Masters of the universe and you all of a sudden had all the keys to all of golf, I think you would do that actually, because I think you can create cathedrals for the game that are recognizable. And part of the reason why Augusta is, the Masters is the Masters is the golf course being a place where every single year there's history created, and the storytelling that they do around that event, putting it in context of history, because there's a tournament there every single year and every single great player has hit great shots when they've needed to on these exact same holes. And they've done a really good job of making the course play very similar as technology has progressed, and they have the resources to do that, and so you're still seeing the same kinds of shots hit into that golf course the way it was intended to be played, even with all the modern technology. I think Pebble also probably the most famous golf course in the world besides Augusta because of that, because it's been on TV every single year. It's iconic. People recognize the atmosphere. They may not know the holes as well as they know the second night at Augusta, but it's recognizable. The other one, I think another good argument for this is sort of Sawgrass and the players. I think if you had to ask a casual sports fan, not a golfer, can you name 3 golf courses? I think they would probably say Augusta. They would probably say Pebble, and they'd probably say Sawgrass. And that's because you see that tournament every single year. You see that golf course. It's got iconic holes. It's got the island green. I'd probably argue that the 17th at Sawgrass is probably the most famous hole in the world.
I'd say.
I think, maybe people could say that about Pebble. Is it 7 or 8? 7. Yeah, I always forget it's 7 or 8. But I think it is 17 at Sawgrass.
I agree.
And I think that, if you did that, if somehow the universe came together, we were completely just thinking about how do you make this best for the fans of golf. I think you do kind of land the majors every year in the same spot, and you make it like part of the game. This is the ultimate. We've got these 4 courses.
What's your thought on the argument that the Players should be a major?
I think the Players is a major at this point. I'm going out on a limb and saying that. I think if you're now, and I think over the last 10 years, it's really emerged with the quality of winners that they've had, with the consistent field that they've had being an elite field, the iconic golf course. Where it sits in the schedule in some ways, actually, I think helps it too. It's sort of the first real aggressive must-win championship, before major season officially starts. And one of the things that I think over time, majors are not, there's not a definition for what is a major. It's sort of decided. And for a long time, majors were the Western Open was considered a major tournament, which is now the BMW Championship.
I mean, the amateurs were considered majors way back in the day.
Yeah, and a lot of that was like retconned in, and golf writers decided in the 70s that, or 60s or 70s that Bobby Jones's win at the amateur, that counts as a Grand Slam, that counts as a major. It's like a lot of that is a little bit retroactive. And so to me, I think that if you kind of look back, and call it 30 years from now, I think the Players will be considered a major. Now, will that mean the PGA is no longer a major? I don't think so. I think they'll just be sort of 5.
Yeah.
But I think if you were going to ask, I think, okay, right now, if you ask the tour player, would you rather win the PGA or would you rather win the Players? I think they're going to say the PGA.
Yeah.
But I think over time, they're going to get closer and closer. And I think that one of the kind of under reported parts of Jay Monahan's legacy is going to be the revamping of the Players and turning it into the championship that it is, giving it the best possible chance to become a major. And that's a thing that never gets reported on. But Jay, when he took over the commissionership of the tour, which by the way, he's now on his way out. So this will be, everyone's going to talk about his legacy being how he handled COVID, and obviously, and live. And with the benefit of hindsight, I think the live stuff, as chaotic and as maybe, some of the mistakes that were made along the way, I think the tour is ending up in a good spot.
Yeah.
It's sort of hard to argue with the ratings and the position that they're in financially and from a TV rating standpoint. It's not resolved by any stretch, but certainly the tour is not in a worse off place than they were, 4 years ago. And so I think that history may look kindly on his leadership. But the one place that I think will be unexpected and maybe underreported is it was Jay who decided to kind of make the Players the premier event and really invest a lot in a sponsorship model that, preserves its name. So it's the Players Championship. It's not, the Sony Championship or whatever big sponsor that would want to entitle it. They take a very similar kind of Masters approach, a handful of, proud partners that support the event, the limited commercials, the, pushing their broadcast partners to treat it like a major. And all that stuff does not just happen randomly. That is intentional. And so anyway, so yeah, I think you're going to look back 30 years from now. I think people will consider the Players a major, and I hope that Jay gets credit for it because it was his push to really elevate that tournament.
Yeah, I've got no problem with them doing it, and it also doesn't change any things in terms of records. Like Jack would still be over Tiger and whatever. And my other thought is that,
which by the way, on the records front, if you're counting, in my opinion, if you're counting Bobby Jones's amateur wins, you got to count Tiger's.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's got 3.
Yeah. Anyways, my last thought on this is I kind of wish that we could get rid of the PGA, and I might be in the minority here, but I do feel like it's the major that has the least amount of identity. And, this whole thing with LIV and we want to grow the game and all this kind of stuff, I really do think that there needs to be another major that is not in America and not in, the UK.
Yep.
And I think to be able to drive golf into a higher echelon, it would be to put a major in the Southern Hemisphere or somewhere different, maybe in Asia or in South Africa or in Australia. And my thought was, wouldn't it be cool if the fourth major wasn't the PGA, but it was, the Australian Open at Royal Melbourne. And it's at an old Alistair McKenzie famous track. I think that would be very cool, and it would have this whole different aura, and it would give that fourth one some juice.
Yeah. No, I love. I can't say I'd be advocating for getting rid of the PGA as a major, but I agree with you with the move. PGA had an identity when it was the last major, and it was sort of glory's last shot. And so it gave it extra pressure because it was like, okay, this is your last chance this year to win a major. And if in the Tiger era, it was like, he's one of a bunch of, it's like, can he create the Grand Slam, do the Grand Slam? I feel like, but putting that aside, I think that the idea of a Southern Hemisphere or a global major that isn't, in the UK is something that I would imagine is going to be on the docket or at least going to be discussed. And the thing about it is there's nothing stopping somebody from doing it. There's nothing stopping somebody. There's so much deep pockets in golf. We talk about it all the time. I mean, obviously, like the PIF has invested billions of dollars into growing LIV. It's like they could have just as easily put $1 billion towards an event, like one tournament, and invited every single player in the world, just decided that was going to become a major. And maybe it's not a major when it starts, but it's got a big enough purse that you get every top player to play in it, and you move it all around the globe, and you call it the World Championship, or you call it the Global Invitational or something.
World Cup.
Yeah, there's really nothing stopping anybody from doing that, I think. And somebody will have that idea and the resources and means to try. And I think it would be a great thing for the world of golf to have something where you see the best players in the world playing, truly like, I think the answer to this is it's the Olympics. Yeah. Like the Olympics is this. Okay. And I'd say, because it's every 4 years, it's not top of mind. But I think that the last Olympics in Paris, like that was a major. It felt like a major. It felt like as big of a deal to win that. Now, I think those gold medals will become majors. I think you're going to count it as a major. I think maybe before the Players becomes a major, I think the Olympics is going to count as a major. And I think that will get you Southern Hemisphere. That will get you around the world. That will open golf up to a whole new audience. And it was tough because the first 2 times golf was in the Olympics, you had the Zika virus, scare. So there was a lot of concerns. And then obviously in Japan, it was during COVID. It was like no fans. So I think seeing Paris in full flight with the big crowds, with the best players in the world, it felt like a major. I think you're going to see that again in LA at Riviera. Yep. And I think going forward, that'll be the 5th major.
Well, it's an interesting conversation regardless. I don't think anyone's going to be listening to us. Maybe you, actually, but definitely not me.
Well, if there's any goal I have in my life, it's that people will listen to me about things like that.
We were the guys who decided that
The Olympics is a major. You heard it here first.
You heard it here first, folks. Quick break. When we come back on the Vanity Index podcast presented by JLab, we're going to have, I don't know. I think he's the funniest guy in Hollywood in Richard Kind. This is an interview you do not want to miss.
All right, guys, listen up. If you've made it this far, you've clearly got impeccable taste, or you're stuck in traffic. Either way, do us a solid, hit that subscribe button, follow the show, and if you're feeling generous, drop us a rating and a review.
Yeah, and if you want to keep up with all the celebrity sandbaggers, behind the scenes chaos, make sure you're following us on all the socials. We're talking Instagram, X, Twitter, same thing, TikTok, everywhere you can possibly stalk us, we're there, at Vanity Index Podcast.
All right, welcome back to the Vanity Index podcast. Powered by JLab. I'm Wells alongside Chad Mumm. All right, folks, grab your clubs and your best one-liners because today's guest is one of the funniest and most distinctive voices in Hollywood.
Are you
literally
reading this?
And figuratively.
You're reading this.
Did you expect me to be off book for
Yeah,
this?
I don't want you to be off book. Talk from your heart.
This is
Oh,
from my
Wells.
heart. You know him from Spin City, man. About You, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Red Oaks, as a hilariously exasperated Bing Bong from Inside Out. He's also the guy who can make you laugh just by sounding very stressed. And he still sounds stressed right now. But Richard Kind isn't just a master of comedy. He's also a surprisingly passionate golfer. That's right. When he's not stealing scenes on the screen, he's out in the fairway trying to keep his score lower than his blood pressure. We're going to talk about his career, his love of golf, and how many mulligans is, well, too many. And whether Larry David is the ideal golf partner or an absolute nightmare. Please welcome our friend, the always kind, Richard Kind.
Thank you very much. Actually, a couple of those words were very nice and well constructed. So thank you.
Well, it's lovely to have you here.
It's great being here. It's great seeing you guys.
You are, I think, the funniest person at our club, and I don't think that there is a question about it. How do you feel about that statement?
Okay, I'll name somebody who's funnier than me, and he does it for a living. Andrew Santino.
Yeah.
Santino's the best. Okay, for flat out funny.
Yeah.
He's funny. You
guys-
know what? I'm a funny guy. I'm fun to be around, everything like that. I can act funny, but Santino has that great wit. He just knows how to turn it on. And he's not, and he doesn't always have to be funny.
Yeah.
You know, there's people who they go, oh man, you should be a stand-up. You should do stand-up, and they're funny in the office, or they're funny, you know, when you go out to dinner. But you put them in, you know, in front of a light or audiences, or turn the camera on. He's hilarious.
I've been lucky enough to play with you guys a few times. We've had a couple of great rounds, and watching the two of them go at each other and try to make each other laugh.
Yes, that is funny.
Is like one of the greatest. Sometimes I think we had Charlie Day one
did,
time in
yeah.
the mix on that, and just the three styles of comedy kind of couldn't be more different.
And Santino told me a joke, and I'm a really good joke teller. He told me a joke, and he said, this was told to me by an Englishman. You got to tell it with an English accent. And I listened to it, and it's a great joke. It's not good. It's great. But no, he was so wrong. You know, I tell it in my voice. I've never used an English. First of all, I can't do a good English accent. I can do an English accent, but it's not good. But nor is his. But I tell it in my voice. So, so as a modicum of taste, Santino is not the best, but he is the funniest.
Well, can you tell us the joke?
Yeah, I want to hear it.
This one's filthy.
Great. Perfect.
Perfect.
This is filthy. I'm not kidding. Oh, you're going to get a lot of listeners on this one.
All right, let's hear it.
This is two gay guys are taking the red eye at night.
Uh-huh.
Okay, and one of them turns to the other, and he goes, "Come on, let's fuck." He goes, "I'm not gonna fuck now. Are you kidding? We're on an airplane." He goes, please. Everybody's sleeping. The lights are off. He goes, no. People look. He goes, "Here, watch. Listen to this. Here. Hey. Anybody got a pencil?" Nothing. He goes, no. You didn't scream loud enough. He goes, all right, I'll try it again. Hey. Anybody got a pencil? Nothing. So he goes, all right, let's fuck. So they fuck. And then when they're finished, they go to sleep. Next morning, they're coming in for the landing, and the stewardess is walking up the aisle, and she sees a guy about 2 rows back. And the guy has mucus coming down his nose. His eyes are red. There's a little bit of throw up on his tie. He's shivering. And the stewardess goes, Sir, what's the matter? He goes, well, last night I think I got a little sick. She goes, well, why didn't you ask for any help? He goes, are you kidding? Some guy needed a pencil. He got fucked up the ass. All right, you're going to keep that in?
Absolutely.
Are you gonna change it to an English accent? It does not need an English accent.
It doesn't.
No, it's me. I tell it me.
Oh my God, what a start! This is a strong,
right.
opening tee shot.
I think it's.
All right, you want to hear about opening
All right,
tee
that was
shots?
a great episode, everybody. Thanks so much for coming.
All right, I'm
We'll
going to
see
tell you,
again.
since you want to know about golf and me, since that's what I'm here for. I have performed at the Hollywood Bowl live 4 nights in a row. The producers, 18,000 people a night. Now, I belong to a golf club that you guys both belong to. We love it. Saturday morning, 9, 10 o'clock, I'm on the tee. There's 3 foursomes standing around waiting to go next. I am more nervous on that tee at that time than I am at the Hollywood Bowl. Isn't that freaky stupid?
Yeah.
Yes.
We talk about this a lot, actually.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's that performance anxiety. But I do think it has something to do with, we talk about when you have nerves, it means something to you. And it means something that you don't want to look bad in front of your friends on the first tee.
Well, that's part of it. Okay, I'll tell you something else. I'm going to say a statement that sounds phenomenal, and it will not. It's still great, but it's not as phenomenal as it sounds. I won the Bing Crosby tournament.
Really?
Yes, I did.
When?
Years after it was at Pebble Beach.
Okay.
Okay, it used to be the Bing Crosby at Pebble Beach. Crosby had it in his will that he never wanted the tournament to go commercial, to be branded.
Yeah.
Well, the world changed, and he was dead, but they had to honor his will. So AT&T bought it, and I don't know how many people have bought it since then, but at the time it was the AT&T, and they had to brand it like that, so they couldn't call it Bing Crosby's tournament. Could not be at Pebble Beach. They had it at a club in either North or South Carolina, beautiful golf course, and Sarah Lee was the sponsor. It was a celebrity tournament, but it was not a pro-am. We played with the people who spent the money, and there were 2 people. We got to split $120,000 and give it to charity.
Wow.
I really tried to, protest about giving it to charity, and we were able to give it to charity. I will say this: we cheated.
Okay. Yeah.
With a caveat. I didn't cheat, but my partner was a vice president of Sarah Lee, and he claimed to be a 26. He was a 14, 15, maybe a 16. There was a par 3 that was 200 yards over water, but because it's this tournament, they moved it up to 150 yards. That was in the area code of the water. He put it on and made birdie for a 0. As if we had played 17 holes that day. So we cheated. We didn't cheat, but we cheated. I didn't cheat. I was a pretty good golfer then. Coming in, all I had to do was bogey the last hole. The day before, I'm telling you, this 18th green was at a 45-degree angle. I 4-putted it the day before. It was so difficult. The pin placement, it was so tough. This is really pathetic, but this is how far I hit a ball. I was a good golfer at the time. I was 140 40 yards out. That's an 8-iron for me, even at that age. And all I had to do was get it on and 3-putt. I stood over the ball. You could see the muscles in my forearms rippling, and there was a crowd. So you talk about nerves. I was terrified. I stepped away from that shot 3 times to just loosen, just get rid of the want. I hit it dead square. It was perfect. And I hit the ball. It landed about 5 inches short of the hole. The whole crowd went, oh, like that. And I went, no, 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 no. Yesterday I four-putted this, and we won the tournament. That's a story. Not as good as the joke, but it's a story.
Did you get some nice hardware for that one?
Yeah,
I bet that's
some
a cool
crystal.
trophy.
I still have the crystal lamp, what's the Irish crystal? The
Waterford.
Waterford lamp, and a Waterford trophy. Oh, it's gorgeous. Now, here's the crazy thing. Everybody, you get $60,000 to give to charities, of which I have many charities that I give to. Everybody comes up. I have this charity. Would you mind just giving some of your money?
Yeah.
Would you mind? Just $5,000 would be great. Just, and it was astounding how many friends I found out I had.
Do you remember who you gave the money to?
Yeah, some of it. Well, Project ALS was very big for because my wife, my ex, was executive director for Project ALS. So of course we gave money to that Michael Fox's tournament. We could talk about my stuff, and people would say, "Well, why do you give to that? Why don't you give to this charity or something like that?" I have about 20 charities that at the end of the year I give money to. So you could look at that.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, I'm a good man, and yet I'm cheap.
We usually start the show with asking our guests what their...
I'm sorry, I didn't even let you start the show.
No.
Don't worry, I'm going to take over the show. It's going to be three of us by the time we get to the golf channel.
We would love that.
Oh, Jesus, are you kidding? Okay, go ahead.
What is your index? What's your current handicap?
It's not good. Talk about cheating, because I'm better than this. I'm a 21-2.
Okay.
It's horrible. Horrible.
What's the lowest you've been?
I was a 10 handicap.
Okay.
I never made it to 9. Never made it to a 9 handicap. The thing is, and I determined this the other day with this pro out in the Hamptons. When I was a kid, my sport was tennis, and I was a fat kid, so I didn't want to run and have to go hit the ball. I wanted to hit winners all the time. I had the best cross-court shot you'd ever seen. It was a bullet. It was direct. It was about 2 feet short of the baseline, and it was just on an angle. It was great. But to hit it, you can't see it, but that camera can. I had to turn over my wrists.
Yeah.
Okay.
Topspin.
And put topspin on it. Now, when I have a golf swing, I go over like that, and unless I'm careful, I'll pull the ball. I'm lazy sometimes. I'll pull the ball anyway. I'm not a good athlete, but somehow I hit the ball after all these years. But what happens is I release the club before I get to the ball. I know what you should do, and my brain will not let me. Isn't that crazy?
Yep.
I cannot go like that. I got to go like that first because of all those years of tennis, and that's how I hit a ball. I've begged somebody here to teach me, and I did get somebody out in the Hamptons sort of got me to do it a little bit. It's not great. I still don't hit the ball the way that I should, but I'm closer. And all of the stuff that other teachers have said makes sense to me now. But he's the one who said that's what I do, and I think it's because of that.
Well, this is my miss too. I tend to turn the ball over a lot, and that big snap hook is what.
Oh, do you really?
Oh, yeah.
Well, because Wells, when I think of you playing golf,
Yeah.
I mean, you are a beautiful naked woman in your golf swing. That's how good your golf swing is.
Oh, thank you.
You're a very good golfer. Chad, you as well. I'm going to stop there. You guys are great. I've got a member guest this Friday and Saturday. I'm terrified. I'll either play great or Paul. I'll mention my friend Paul Lauer. Please excuse me, Paul, if I really screw up our member guest. And I'm scared. I don't know. I haven't hit a ball on grass.
Well, you're getting 22 pops, right? So that's
I know. Here's the question, and I'll ask you guys: do I go back to my old swing for the?
There's always the like you got to dance with the girl you brought. type of
Oh,
thing.
what a thing to say! You're right.
well, and then you get out there on the course and you kind of hit a bad shot and you think, oh, maybe I should change back, and now you're
Right.
lost.
I
You're in
mean,
the
it's
wilderness.
a hybrid. I think my drive will be the old swing.
Yeah.
But I only hit that 190 yards, which is okay. I just can't get to the greens in regulation.
Yeah.
But I chip well. I putt well. Some days I'm great.
Well, you talked about growing up playing tennis. We, whenever you're in town, you don't live in LA full time, but whenever you're in town, I see you at the club, and I don't think there's anybody that I've met that loves golf more than you. And as a child tennis player, how did you fall in love with golf? When did you first start playing?
My dad was a 6 handicap when he passed away. He was a great golfer, played for the Army. He was great. He begged me to play golf. We belonged to a country club out in New Jersey, gave me the lessons, the clubs, everything. And I said, I don't want to. And my dad said, okay, thinking he was a good dad. What he should have done was said, you don't have to play, but you got to learn. And today, actually, he thought that he was doing a good thing and being nice to me. He wasn't. I am smart enough to know, and I gave my kids lesson, but we live in New York. It's prohibitive to play golf in New York. I should have been blessing him every time I walked off the 18th green, saying, I'm winning money. Now I curse him because I lose money. But I was a tennis player. What ended up happening is I moved to New York when I was a young actor. I wasn't a golfer, and tennis was too expensive because I had to play indoors. I then went to Second City after 4 years of being in New York, and I was in Chicago. I had a roommate who was from Chicago, Evanston actually, and he had 3 friends who were golfers, and they wanted to know if I wanted to play golf with them. And I go, and as an actor, if you don't have anything to do during the day, you tend to masturbate earlier in the day. So I needed something to do.
Like
I've never said that before. But yes.
This is good. Yeah,
I know.
you'd already seen all the porn, so it's like
Right. I mean, I got to watch this again. So I took up golf. And these guys have remained my great dear friends. They are the civilians that I know who are not in showbiz at all. And I learned how to play golf then. And I mean, we would gamble. They would give me 30 shots because I was terrible. And I took lessons. And I mean, they'd send a car for me. And what we would do, being at Second City, I would work till 1 a.m. Then I'd go out and have a few drinks, They would pick me up at 4:30 in the morning. We would go play golf. We'd be on the course at 6. We'd finish by 9. They'd go to work because they're doing that. I'd go home and go to sleep until I performed at Second City that night. We did that easily 3 times a week. I mean, there were times where we were teeing off. There were times we would tee off and we didn't want to do this, but there was nobody in the pro shop to pay. So we would play for free. That's the first thing. The second thing is we would tee off into fog, literal fog, and you say, keep an eye on the ball. 2 feet in front of you, you would not see where the ball was. And then, within 20 minutes it would lift. But that's how we played golf. And we would play a few times. As I say, they've remained friends of mine. One is a lawyer in Chicago. One unhappily passed away. He was a great, brilliant man, was a lawyer, and then did a lot of pro bono work. The third guy was a guy who's a dear friend. I won't mention his name, but he married a French girl, went to live in, she got tired of living in Chicago, Mr. Family. They moved to France. He hated France. They ended up moving to London and then Wales. He was in the insurance business, and he purchased the insurance company they was working for and turned it into the Geico Insurance
Wow.
of Great Britain, of the United Kingdom. But he literally 20 years in a row voted best employer to work for. Admiralty Insurance, I think it is. He's overly wealthy. He's one of the lucky people. Still lives a modest life, except when he gets extravagant. Like he'll get extravagant with us, and he'll take us on golf trips, week-long golf trip. Cruise in Hawaii. Every year we get a golf trip. He's a wonderful, wonderful man. I would encourage you to. You know what? I mentioned his name because he has some books that will teach you how to form and run a business and be kind about it, of which he is. But I will tell you this: he's a hard worker. And insurance, they can be very boring. But his name is Henry Engelhart. I encourage you to read his books about business. They're even entertaining when they're not talking about business. But he talks about what hard work is. And he works on his golf game. He's got a beautiful swing. And sometimes he's great, and sometimes he just sucks. But he's been playing since he was a kid, and a lefty. So,
Well, there you go.
yeah.
You were talking about him taking you on some kind of amazing golf trips. Is there one that sticks out to you?
Well, Scotland's always the greatest. Castle Stewart is my favorite. Playing it in that wind, the 18th hole, where we literally are shooting almost sideways, and it gets to the green. So I love that. I remember we had two guys who were driving us around in the vans, and they were Scottish, and you want to play around, and we'll bet something, and 50 pounds or whatever it was, and we did, and we slaughtered those two guys. We killed them, and they did not pay up.
Ooh.
Oh.
They paid up by giving us a ball marker, like an engraved, they bought a ball marker. So yeah, they didn't pay their debts, and I know the Scots are cheap, but but a man should pay his debts. But hey, they were driving vans, and I give them a break. They were nice guys, great guys, but I asked me what they look like or what their names are. I don't know, but they didn't pay their debts.
Interesting.
And that's right. You want to hear a great they didn't pay their about cheating story?
Please.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what we're here for.
Now, not everybody's going to like this story because it's an icon. An icon. Mm-hmm. I'm not kidding. It's an icon. I'm playing Sherwood one time. Like I said, I was a good golfer at the time. There was a day I was. And Sean Connery is playing there. Now, he's a member there, and he's playing as a twosome. So we're at the fourth hole. It's a long par 5, and there's water on the right, okay? We tee off. Of course, we're going to let Sean Connery. He could be a 6, and we're going to let Sean Connery go through. I didn't spray my ball, but it was off to the right, okay, in the rough. Sean Connery comes up, hits his ball, not a good shot, flares it to the right. It's in the water. We all know it. I go up after they go, and I go to look for my ball, and my ball isn't there. And I look where, at the time, I was hitting it as far as he was, and we look in the water, and there's a Sherwood ball. And I told my son, he pulled the gold finger.
Yeah, I was gonna say this is from
Pulled the gold finger. And I told my son, I don't think Sean Connery, if you asked him the next day, could tell you who he played with, or how he played, or what he scored, or how much money he won. Mm-hmm. But for the rest of my life, Sean Connery cheated.
Yeah. And he might not remember the round, but he remembers doing that.
Oh, yeah.
He doesn't remember doing that.
I don't know. Cheating is
No.
I feel like something that's burned into your mind.
It's two guys playing. He doesn't, but that might have been his character.
Yeah.
He was known for hitting women. It might be his character.
Yeah.
Who's the most famous sort of icon that you've ever played with? So we had Sean Connery playing your ball. You've been around entertainment for so long.
Oh,
Such a
about
legend.
the famous people?
Sure.
Well, I never mentioned him, but I guess George Clooney. He's my best friend. But I'm not going to talk about him at all.
Okay.
By the way, he's a very good golfer.
Is he?
But he's good. Because he's okay. I'll talk to him. I'll talk about him nicely, and people will like this. He's a great athlete, ridiculous. He was a great ball player. Tried out for the Reds. That was his goal. He thought he'd play for the Reds. That's how good he is. So of course he has a baseball swing, but he swats it. Great putter. Stopped playing as well when he threw his back out doing Sirianni. It hurts him a little, and so there are days when he's not. But he enjoys the game, but he's not a student of the game. It's just natural talent, but he's really good. But I guess the most famous, somebody who won he's a great guy from Texas.
The golfer?
I have him in my
From Texas.
He's a Texas.
Lee Trevino?
No, that was not 15.
You want to hear the best story about Lee Trevino?
Absolutely.
This is my favorite story about Lee Trevino.
Let's hear it.
Lee Trevino used to like mowing his own lawn. It just was. Do you know this story?
No.
He liked mowing his lawn. So he was out his lawnmower and everything like that. And he's at his house and everything. And a woman drives up in like a caddy or something, and she rolls. I guess on this show you got to say a Cadillac because caddy has a different meaning. Just this rich woman, rolls up in the their Cadillac, and she rolls down the window. She goes, "Excuse me, how much do you get paid to mow these lawns?" And he goes, "Oh, I don't get paid anything." She goes, "You don't get paid anything?" He goes, "No, but I get to fuck the lady who lives here."
Oh, that's amazing.
Isn't that a great story?
That's such a great story.
I know.
I got to spend some
Pat
time
Perez.
with Pat Perez.
Pat
of course.
Perez.
Yeah.
Pat Perez. I knew I'd get it eventually. You guys are young. What I just went through?
It's coming for us.
Oh my God, you have no idea. Oh, tick tock, tick tock.
Oh, boy.
Oh my God.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, but it comes to you eventually.
Pat's a character.
A character.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I loved playing with him. I played at the Hope with the guy who wears the hat to the side. Frenchman is that
Jesper
Jesper
Parnevik?
Parnevik?
Yeah, Parnevik.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm playing with Parnevik, and he's playing terribly. I'm playing out of my mind well. He forgets his game and starts reading my putts. He's more concerned with my game than he was with his. He was a lovely man.
My favorite story, every time I think of Jesper Parnevik, you've played Wilshire in Los Angeles, of course. So the ninth hole at Wilshire, it's a famous, par 4 kind of up and over a hill, and it's a blind tee shot. And in the background, you can see the El Royale Hotel, or it's the El Royale. I think it's a hotel. I think it's an apartment building, but you see the beautiful El Royale. And every single time you stand on that tee box, the caddy will tell you the same exact story about the time that Ben Hogan came to the tee.
Sure.
And he asked, "What's the line?" And he said, "Oh, aim at the E in El Royale." And Hogan, of course, says, "Which E?" So that's the setup for the story. I've played Wilshire a bunch. I love that course. I've heard that story.
but no. Okay, go.
Or was it the Hollywood sign, maybe?
No. They said aim towards the windows, and he said which, because they were like window cut.
Right.
Like he goes, which window?
Which window? So that's the setup, right? So I've heard that story maybe like 10 times. The two stories you hear at Wilshire are that story, and then the time that I think Howard Hughes landed his airplane on the course to go sleep with a paramour of his. And just left the plane on the course. So anyway, I'm playing out at Hillcrest. First time ever at Hillcrest. And we come around the corner, and there's a very similar blind shot. And in the background is a bunch of skyscrapers in Century City. And there was an MGM sign that was on the top of the window. And I'm just asking the caddy, "What's the line?" And he goes, "Funny story. One time, Jesper Parnevik was here at Hillcrest, and he comes to the tee, and he proceeds to tell this exact same story. He says, "What's the line?" He says, "Aim for the M in MGM." And he goes, "Which M?" And I'm like, of course it's Jesper Parnevik in that story.
Sure.
And I guess we have one of those at our club. I've heard recently. I've heard
What's
a
that?
Tiger story.
What?
On number 12, maybe. There was a story that Tiger had played when he was an amateur or was a young professional, and you can see the NBC Universal building. And there's another, same thing, like which window. And I'm like, are these all, this apocryphal story now applies to basically any great golfer. But I love that in the pantheon of those stories, you get Ben Hogan, you get Tiger Woods, and you get Jesper.
Yeah.
Jasper, yeah. Although you know that the tee markers at Wilshire, you know what they are?
Go ahead.
No, you because I can't remember the word for them, but they're
drill bits
drill bits from Howard Hughes's factory.
from his factory.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So cool. Iconic T markers.
Where did he land that plane?
I think it was on 8 is what I was told.
On
Potentially.
8, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
There is nothing quite as awesome as a post-round drink with Richard Kind when he starts telling jokes. Mm-hmm. Like
It's very nice of you.
but it is a very iconic.
Or we just talk. Just
Yeah.
talk, you know. So yeah, I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Do you play anywhere in New York? Do you have a club up?
I don't belong to a club.
Okay.
I'm lucky that I have friends out in the Hamptons I get to play with. I am lucky that there are people who have clubs. Oh, I have a small, very modest house out at the Jersey Shore, but I play the public. I play the public courses all over. I play a place called Cherry Valley in the Hamptons. That's in Riverhead. I'm very lucky. There's a wonderful course called The Bridge. It's wonderful. I happen to be friends with the man who owns the club. He is as gracious to me, and I try and do good things for him because he's very, very charitable, and I try and help out all of his charities. He has a magnificent. Do you know about this? About his golf charity for young inner city kids up in Harlem. He's a great guy. I'm going to mention his name because he does great things. He has a foundation, and he takes these kids from Harlem and the inner city, and not only does he teach them golf after school, the people who teach golf mentor them in their homework. And then those kids get to come and work at the bridge during the summer and see what they can aspire to. I mean, they're magnificent kids. It's a wonderful foundation Bob has, Bob Rubin, and he just does magnificent work. And he has a magnificent golf club.
The Bridge Golf Foundation.
The Bridge Golf Foundation. So wonderful. Oh, people should look into that. If you want to know something, talk about some place to give your money, that's one of the places I give my money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wonderful.
Are there any golf, like, are you a guy that goes on golf trips other than going out to Scotland with your extremely rich
No,
friend?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you something about golf that people, like I say, I'm cheap with myself. I'm generous with others, but I'm very cheap with myself. I don't think golf should cost more than $200 a round. And I hate paying $200.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I won't play Pebble Beach anymore because of the stranglehold they have on your wallet.
Yeah.
In order to play there, not just the cost, the caddy, you got to stay at the lodge. No.
Yeah.
No, not right. I mean, we all know it's an elite sport. It doesn't have to be. You go to Scotland and you get off the train, you're right there at Troon. Isn't it Troon where you just get off the train?
Yep, it's right there.
That's how you should play golf. What does it cost? $60 a round? Maybe some of these places are gouging them and they've learned their lesson. But it's if played with. Okay, you want to hear a great story?
I do.
Because I think it happened at Troon. I took a caddy at Troon. Okay, and in Scotland, a caddy only carries one bag, which is great. I don't mind. But so I have my caddy, and I get set up because I'm alone. I play with an American and his son, and they have a pull cart. Okay, so we're on the first green, and I ask my caddy, which way does it break? And he tells me. So the American says to the caddy, and which way does mine break? He goes, why don't you ask your feckin' trolley? So I like that. I like that very much.
Yeah, in the UK, it's much cheaper to become members of these golf clubs.
Not just a member of a golf club. It's what's the word? It's a working man's sport.
Yeah.
Here, it's an elite sport. That's not right. Why not let everybody play? I think that's what it should be. And the Hamptons it's verboten. I don't think there's a club out there that costs less than $750,000 to join.
Yeah.
And that's often their second club.
Yeah.
And that pisses me off.
You talk about being cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Do you like to gamble on the golf course?
I love it.
Yeah.
But for money, if I lose 100, well, okay, first of all, here's my attitude towards gambling. I used to be a really good poker player. I'm not any good anymore because I have 3 kids. And now my 3 kids are in college. So there are consequences to their lifestyle or anything. Of course it's not. But I love gambling. I don't like big gambling. I could stand over a putt for $1 and I'm scared because it means something. So give me a 5-5-10 game. The 5-5-10 game has gone the way of all buggy whips, and it's now 10-10-20, and it's this and that, and that's, and when you're losing $400, that takes the fun away from me. I don't like standing over a putt for that much money, but to me, $1 is a nice amount. $5, a little better, but I like consequences and I like being punished. And golf is different if you're gambling.
Yeah.
It's a different game. It's as different going from the blue tees to the white tees. It's as different from going out there with nothing and versus $5 is on the line. I'll lose 100, 150. I don't mind that, but it's gotten bad. And then you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. Once you've gone to those stakes, it's tough to go back.
Yeah. I feel the same way.
Really?
Yes.
Look at the house we're in.
I know. Well, my wife does well. Someone asked me outside, when I was cleaning the garage,
Yes.
I said, how much you charge me? I said, fuck the girl inside.
Sometimes. Okay.
So, yeah, very early.
Okay, let's not go there.
No, I agree with you. Like, I don't like the juice to change how I'm playing. And when something gets really, really big,
I do, but no. I like the juice to play to change how I'm playing.
Okay.
Or what it means. But when the juice gets continue your sentence now.
well, when I'm like concerned about the dollar amount, then
Right.
it changes the fun.
That's
for
not
me.
fun.
Yeah.
Yes, I like the juice to change the way I play, but I don't like the juice to change my happiness.
Yeah.
And I will tell you this too. I win $80. Of course, I'm happy. I lose 10. Oh God.
Consolable.
Why? I go home. I think about it.
Yeah.
$80 does nothing to change me.
Yeah.
It's not the $10. It's the I lost.
Yeah.
I hate losing. I hate losing more than I love winning.
Did you ever get in a really big game and feel like, whoa, I'm over my skis? Because I think we've all been there for sure. We talk about that a lot on this show.
No.
You're smarter than I am.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Well, hey, listen, we want to be respectful of your time, and I know that you got to go to the ESPYs tonight. Are you presenting out there?
I
Are you
am
getting on
not.
stage?
Here's what I say.
Okay.
They invited me.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bucket list, but all of a sudden it became, I never thought I'd go to the ESPYs.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it became a bucket list thing. Oh my God. I'm sort of famous for a moment. Next Tuesday, this may all be gone. Yes, I'm admired now and people watch me and maybe they know my name. I'm telling you, it just goes. It goes, so if they're inviting me, I better take it now.
Yeah.
I had best take it now. So I'm going. I'll have a great time.
Before we let you go,
Yes.
do you have some time for some rapid fire questions?
Yeah, love it. Love
All
it.
right. Rapid fire questions on the Vanity Index.
Will they be a
podcast.
rapid answer, or are they rapid questions that you want to answer quickly, or do you want a story?
We would love stories.
Yeah, if you've got a good story, but there's
Okay,
a
we'll
lot
see.
of them. So if you don't
All
have
right.
one, it's
Okay.
okay.
That's okay.
Let's see. Do you like to walk or ride?
Oh, I will only walk.
Really?
Only walk. Because, first of all, getting into the cart, I plop. That's bad for my back. Taking bumps will hurt a back. And then getting out of a cart, your memory, you'll find out. Getting out of a cab is the worst thing. That's the first reason. The second reason is I believe being, very loyal to golf, or what's the word? I'm pretty conservative. Golf is a walking sport. Third thing, it's a walk in the park.
Literally.
It's a literal walk in the park. Walk the course. That's what it's good. And them saying, "Oh, take a card, we'll play faster." You don't. You don't play faster. And scrambles, do not play faster. And the fourth thing is I like to carry my bag.
Really?
I have a walk. You see me carry my bag all the time. I love carrying my bag. It's like carrying a briefcase. If you get a bag good enough, it's like a briefcase. Maybe it's how much is it? 6 pounds?
Yeah.
6 pounds. 6 pounds. You put it on your shoulder. It's the lifting up, which is the initial. Ugh. But then you walk. It's nothing. Walk. A traditionalist. That's what I am. A traditionalist. I think a golf course should be walked.
What is your biggest golf pet peeve?
Bad golfers worrying about their score. That's a pet peeve. I say, don't count up your score. Count up the number of good shots you made during the round. If you can do more than 40, good for you.
That's great advice.
Favorite course you've ever played?
I still love Riviera. I think Riviera is just the best. The best. I'm sorry that it's changed in personality of members and everything, but Riv is my favorite, and it plays to my game. I don't know why. I love it. I love it.
We've heard that answer a few times.
Yeah,
Really,
it's one of
yeah.
my favorites.
One course you'd love to play?
I would like to play Cyprus. I played all the others, and I'd like to play Cyprus.
Have you ever been in a movie where you played a golfer?
Yes.
Really?
Either a movie or TV show. Well, certainly Curb.
Yeah, I'm saying like a professional.
Look at me.
Can we diverge for a second?
Sure.
I want to hear about playing golf with Larry David.
I'll tell you a couple stories. First of all, like everybody goes, "Oh, what is Larry like? Is he really like a shockingly good golfer? Shockingly good.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? I'm not saying he's a great golfer, but for what you would expect of the man, and let's laugh at Larry, I mean, shockingly good. That's like when anybody goes, "Am I any good?" I go, "For what I look like, I'm spectacular." He loves the game. When I was on set, and some people are, he's easy to talk to. We're friends and everything, but it's very easy to talk golf with him, like this. He loves talking golf. Okay, here are the two stories about Larry. First one, the Black Swan episode. We're playing it at Mountain Gate. It's a hole that is, if you play it well, it's an easy hole. If you don't play it well, it's tough. It's a literal dogleg right, 45-degree angle. He has to hit a ball and pull it so that he goes down to have to meet the Black Swan. We're going to do 3 takes. We're not going to yell cut. After each one, he hits the ball. We have to go, you pulled it. What a shame. So that he goes down to the left, and because he pulled the ball. And action. He hits the ball. Larry. Second ball. God. You pulled it. What a shame. Third ball. Bad shot. Tough luck. Cut. Oh, my God. Each one a bullet. Right down the middle. You couldn't place it better for the shot in. It was unbelievable. Every shot, probably because he has to pull it. He couldn't pull it, so he hit it right. The crew went nuts. He hit the most gorgeous shot 3 times in a row. It was unbelievable.
That's amazing.
Unbelievable. Second story is we were in Cabo playing El Dorado, and we're playing, and I'm playing with him, and I happened to be having a good day. He was playing okay, but I was having a pretty good day. He couldn't stop. Rich, you're so good. You're great. You're great. You're so good, like that. And I'm having a good day, but I was not. I don't play a great game, but like I said, I played well, but he could not stop. He thought I was the best golfer that day. It was funny. He's a great guy. Very fun to play golf with.
What's his handicap or a round?
He's got to be between a 9. I'll bet he's at 9 or a 12 right now.
Yeah.
But he plays a lot. You know, I'll tell you, you play a lot, you get better. I live in New York. I don't get to play 2, 3, 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
And I love playing 2, 3, 4 times in a row. I get better. I just get better. I get more confident.
Who's one person you wish you could hit the ball like?
Well, everybody wants couples of swing. Who would I like to hit the ball like? Both of you guys. You want to know something? I was out on the range with one of our pros, and there was a young lady out there who I think she was a college golfer, and the range was pretty crowded. And he just turns to me and goes, well, one person has a good swing out here. I'd like to have a pretty swing.
Yeah.
I really would. I'll never have it. I lift the club. I don't turn. Everything I do wrong. I'd like a pretty swing.
What's your favorite club in the bag?
8-iron.
Least favorite club in the bag?
Driver.
Favorite adult beverage on the course?
Well, I'm not a big drinker, so a beer, like a beer after a round of golf,
Yeah.
is the best beer you'll ever have in your life. The second beer tastes like swill.
Yeah.
But boy, do I drink a beer quickly after a round of golf.
It is.
Boy,
It is an elite beer.
I drink it like water. It's glug, 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 glug. And then I get the second beer, I sip. I don't love the taste of beer, but boy, that first beer, it's great. It's the best.
Have you ever had a hole in one?
Yep, 3. 2 of them at 186 yards.
Wow.
Yep. One was at Ojai, if you know the course, the 8th hole along the road. There were people on the 9th tee, and there were people on the 7th green. I hit it perfect, 4-iron, years ago, and Ryan Stiles was there and started screaming. It was on a rope, and it landed boom, 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 in, and 12 people saw it, and we were screaming.
That's amazing.
The second one was at a club in Connecticut, 186 yards, and then one was, it was a hole-in-one. It was an executive course. There were par 4. There was a 9-hole course, par 4s and par 3s. It was the 9th hole. The clubhouse or the thing was at a balcony. It was 150 yards. I hit a 7-iron, went in the hole. One kid, who might have been the kid who plays the banjo in Deliverance, because it was in North Carolina, was on the green. I said, you saw it. I saw it. Hole-in-one. And I had a hole-in-one.
So when you see 186-yard par 3, do you start, like
I love it.
Pavlovian?
Yeah, but you know what I
response?
don't have anymore? And I loved this club. I don't have a 4-iron anymore. They convinced me to have a rescue.
Yeah.
Or a hybrid. I don't have a 4-iron. I had a 2-iron in my bag that I hit pretty well.
Wow.
Yeah, I used to tee off with a 2-iron. I used to have I still have old clubs. I have my new set. Well, I mentioned it. I have a set of PXGs. Hey, maybe in your set. But they were given to me. And those are my New York clubs. And then I have old, burners from, I think, when Truman was president. And, those are the clubs that I use out here.
Best score you've ever shot?
Oh, okay. I shot a 70. Was it a 76 or a 78? It must have been a 78. I'm not that good. It was a 78 in Florida at a lovely course.
What do you remember about that round?
That I broke 80.
Yeah.
That's when you break 80, it doesn't matter what score you have.
Yeah.
But it's only been a handful of times that I broke 80. I've shot 80 and 81 and 82 a few times, quite a few times in the past. But yeah, that was it.
Last one. Give us one word to describe your game.
I'm going to do it 2 times. Back when I used to play, all right. Now, pathetic.
Richard Kind, thank you so much for coming on the Vanity Index podcast.
I love you guys.
That was a delight. You were
So
the
much
best.
fun. You got to love Richard,
I don't know if we're going to survive this one.
Yeah. Does he get canceled or do we all get canceled?
We started this podcast talking about how, we're elevating the Olympics into a major, and we're talking about the growth of the game. I think we went into the Richard interview. I mentioned maybe, hopefully my goal in life is to be listened to about stuff like this.
Yeah.
All those dreams are dashed.
Out the window.
They're gone. This podcast has now been canceled. But man, what an amazing, that interview lived up to the hype.
Yeah, and you know what? If I'm getting canceled for that, I can stand behind that.
That's
you
right.
know?
I'll stand behind Richard Kind all day long.
All day long.
Oh my God, what a legend, what a gem.
Before we go, we're going to do a segment called Overheard, presented by JLab. You know, there has been this kind of resurgence, not even resurgence. There has been a lot. Well, let me put it this way. Golf has gotten so popular as of late. And partially because of the pandemic and partially because it's cool now and celebrities and actors, if you like Richard Kind, are playing golf. And it's just in getting a lot more people out on the course. But it's starting to do something that might be negative, right? So like there's all these videos now of people fighting on the golf course.
Yep.
And we talked about it last week with Chris Jacobs and that like kind of hilarious fight of these two hockey players where the guy's just like bam, bam, and just hitting him in the face and throwing him into a lake. And it is hilarious. But it made me wonder, like, what does it say about the current state of golf that this is something that we're seeing a lot of? Because, you know, the golf is supposed to be the gentleman's game, but now it's turning into, well, Happy Gilmore too, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, so this is an interesting argument because I do feel like one is this something that's always been happening. We just haven't seen it because there's been cell phones everywhere.
Fair enough.
But pretend that it's not. I do think golf is in a really interesting place right now.
Mm-hmm.
And so when, you know, Happy Gilmore just came out. Hopefully everybody's watched it and loved it. Happy Gilmore 2. And what I think is so interesting about the plot of that movie is in the entire hook for the comedy and the butt of the joke of the first movie is really about golf and golf culture. The villain of the movie is this snooty Shooter McGavin, PGA Tour player, country club guy with his perfectly coiffed hair and ordering around, you know, Virginia Venet to get him his Pepsi. And I feel like the butt of the joke is golf and golf culture. And what made it funny was this idea of like fish out of water, take a hockey player, boorish hockey player in Happy Gilmore and stick him in this like crusty rich man sport. But I think it says a lot about where golf has gone, where the main villain in Happy Gilmore 2 is like an energy drink influencer billionaire and has nothing to do with the stodginess of golf itself. Golf itself and the culture of golf is actually like, it's not even really a plot point. In some sense, it's about saving the soul of golf and saving the actual heart of the game and what makes it good, regular golf, as we talk about in the movie. And I think it's interesting because like that, you couldn't play that same joke. You couldn't position in Happy Gilmore 2, you know, 30 years later, that golf is the butt of the joke because it's become so accessible and democratized now. And so many people are playing it and it's become cool for the first time in a long time. And so I think just like using those two films as kind of a barometer of like where golf was in the 90s and where golf is today in the mid 2020s, I think is really striking where, you know, go back to your shanties, like that's what golf is now.
Yeah.
And the cool part about golf is it has room for all of it. I think there's room for the shanties and the parties and playing in t-shirts and blasting music on the course and drinking a bunch of transfusions. But there's also like cathedrals of the game where you can walk in and like feel the history and the old ghosts and the traditions that apply in a place like Augusta or Cyprus or National Golf Links is just different from the traditions that apply at like a fun Muni or like, you know, in the Ozarks, you know, where like Tiger's course is
Payne's Valley,
or, you know, or even like some of the Pinehurst courses. And just like, I love that about golf, that it can contain that. There's never been a reason why it couldn't. And so anyway, I didn't mean to take is fighting a big deal on a golf course and turn it into this like love letter for where I think the game is now.
Yeah.
But just we're fresh off of Happy Gilmore and the fact that again, golf was the punchline in the first one, but we've evolved so much as a sport that it's just not at all the punchline. And the villain is just a totally different caricature of a different part of our society, I think is really telling. So
yeah. And I also think it's who's teaching new players the game, because you know originally it was our dads who come from a very old school staunchy way of playing and, you know, honor the golf course, learn all the rules, the etiquette, all that kind of stuff, which is the thing that everyone's making fun of, right? Like especially in the first film. But I wonder if we do need to kind of get back there a little bit, like maybe the tucked in shirts and the not blaring music on the golf course and like having a little bit of respect might not be a bad thing to get back to a little bit, because 6-hour rounds and people fighting is not something that I think I want to be around.
Yeah. Yeah. I fair enough. I do think that I think the game contains it all. And I
Yeah.
think like, it's just, there's flavors and different, there's different niches within golf. There's different identities within golf. I think that's what makes it beautiful. I think that's what makes it compelling. At the end of the day, it's like the game itself can give so much back to you. And yeah, like a bunch of assholes being boorish, like fine, but that's part of life. Those people are around, they're in society. There are, I think, cathedrals for golf where that respect exists, but I don't think you need to bring that to the Muni. I like the idea that like that golf can be casual, it can be fun, it can be something that is like pretty low stakes for you outside with your friends, having a good time. Now, crossing over into fighting, yeah, I guess that's like, I don't condone that at all. I don't think anybody's condoning fighting on the golf course. I do think you're seeing a lot more of that because it's easy for that stuff to go viral on social media. I still want to call back to my favorite golf viral video of all time, which is from the original Jackass, when they're hiding in the woods with the air horn.
Oh, yeah.
The guys are hitting on the tee box and he blows it. And he says he's sorry, he can't help it because he has bursitis.
Yeah.
And he goes, you have bursitis? You got to blow a horn? And he goes, it helps. Johnny Knoxville is the best.
We used to do that because I lived on a golf course.
Oh, yeah.
And
See?
yeah, people on number 11 at Old Del Monte. I'm sorry for that.
Well, and see, Wells, you're still now, you're wearing slacks and looking good and tucking your shirt in. So
I'm turning into get off my lawn guy, and that's
Yeah, I
not
know.
cool. And you're the cool. Well, you are younger than me. I guess it's fair.
yeah, it's true.
This was a fun episode.
Oh my God, so good.
We've ripped through a lot. Yeah, go ahead and like the episode, subscribe, all that stuff. Follow us on social media at Vanity Index Podcast and also on Skratch. We'll be back again next week with another amazing episode.
Awesome. Thanks, buddy.
See you,
That was
bud.
fun.